There we go. Hello, everybody. We had a little bit of a glitch, but we're fine now. My connection was glitchy, but not my connection. I was having a hard time getting my camera to work, but we're going to use my computer camera instead, which is still fine. But I like my phone camera because I think it's prettier. But the computer camera actually isn't bad. So here we go. All right. I've got Substack. Hey, Zia. I got the Substackers here. All right. I think we're good enough. That worked. That worked well enough. That mean, yeah. The sound's better on the computer. Usually, well, the sound is the same sound. Hold on. Is this not using my microphone sound? Hello, 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 hello. Is it still my microphone, Street Rat? It's the same sound. It's the same sound. I mean, it's the exact same sound setup. Anyway, so bizarre. Yeah, the microphone's the same. It always is. It just was being, like I said, my camera setup was being evil, but it's back. All right, let me get TikTok rolling, guys, and then we are set. Welcome, Discordians. TikTok, hopefully, let's see if TikTok works. This should be interesting to see if TikTok works. Hopefully it does. All right, so far so good. Live. Hold on. All right. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Hello, guys. 1 second here. I'm getting TikTok set up. Sorry, YouTube. I hate when that happens, but it happens sometimes. Drum hamster. What the hell is that? All right. Just looking at TikTok. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Slow TikTok. Slow TikTok. All right. All right. Oh, that one is kind of cute. Oh, that's kind of cute too. Oh, okay, that's very cute. All right, we'll put that one. All right, TikTok is ready. Go live. We're ready. Thank you, everybody, for waiting. Sorry. Like I said, things got a little sort of screwed up here, unfortunately. Flip my camera, mirror. There we go. All right. Woo-woo! It worked. Woo-woo! Very good. Okay. Anyway, TikTok is needy. TikTok takes a while to get set up. It's the hardest one to set up for whatever reason. Now, it's a little delayed today. We'll see why. TikTok is live. Everything's live. I am noticing my camera being a little delayed on YouTube, but we'll, deal with it. Anyway, welcome TikTokers, YouTube, Substack, technology is our friend. Technology is our friend, but it's not easy to set it up sometimes. It just can be hard. There's just a lot of stuff. When I launched the show, there's a lot of different things that I need to sort of get rolling. So already gone, WC. Anyway, welcome guys. Welcome. John Ervos is here. We've got another show. Lots of, the Iran news. It's a cluster F, like I've been saying, total cluster F. I think I got him first before Mandy did. Did she get him? I thought I got him. Oh, it doesn't say who. I think maybe she got him. I thought I got him. One of us did. So welcome guys. Total clusterfuck with Iran. Total disaster. I did it. Okay. I wasn't sure. I didn't know it was so bad and I saw it that I also thought I would get it and look the other way and set up TikTok so that the person themselves wouldn't know that I saw it. Although now they're probably still there in the background. It's like, oh well. Anyway, guys, so welcome. John Ervos is here. We're going to talk about the latest news, a lot of it being Iran. The Iran situation is a total disaster. Trump lied. You'll be surprised to hear that Donald Trump lied about the Iran war. It's kind of a mess today. Thank you, Bonzo. The Taco Tuesday totally caught up with him. It's just a mess. So anyway, welcome guys. Please do keep the gifts coming. I appreciate the gifts on TikTok and YouTube and elsewhere. They support my work and I really appreciate it. So keep them coming. I try to do shout outs when I see them. Otherwise, let's get rolling. So this is my nightly show. I go through the news. My background is media and politics, law, and I try to give you guys an insider's view as to what's going on with the news. So the negotiations are dead at the moment between Iran and the U.S. Thank you, Mel, for the jumping sheep. Negotiations are totally dead. The plan was, well, let's step back. All weekend, Donald Trump was saying, oh, the negotiations are going great. We're going to sign a deal on Monday. The whole peace treaty is going to be done on Monday, right? Monday comes and Trump keeps saying, oh no, we're going to sign the peace treaty tonight. And everyone's going, well, how are you going to sign the peace treaty tonight if JD Vance isn't even there? There's no negotiation going on. JD Vance has to get to Pakistan. That's going to take 24 hours to, well, get there and sleep and then have the negotiations. And he's not leaving until Tuesday for a Wednesday negotiation. So how Monday will there be a final, treaty signed? Trump didn't have a response to that. Well, the talks were called off. JD Vance did not leave for Iran or for Pakistan today. He's not leaving for Pakistan tomorrow. The Iranians are refusing to negotiate. The Strait of Hormuz is closed entirely. The U.S. has blockaded Iranian ports. It's a cluster F. Iran says there's no deal on them turning over their uranium. Remember this week, Trump, guys, this is important. Donald Trump lied, but he lied about this entire negotiation to the American people. He told us 3 days ago, you remember the quote, they've agreed to turn over their nuclear powder. Remember, he kept calling it nuclear powder, their uranium? They agreed to turn over all their nuclear powder. Rather than them getting it alone, we're going to get it together and blah, blah, blah. But remember, nuclear dust, I'm sorry, thank you, Dolphin. Nuclear dust. I think I have it in my notes, but nuclear dust, because it was such a ridiculous thing for him to say. Iran agreed to no such thing. One of the biggest sticking points in the negotiation is what to do with Iran's uranium. And Iran is saying, no. Guys, he lied to us. I know he lies all the time, but it really pisses me off that we're in a war and he's lying to the American people about how the war is going. He lied to us and said, it just boggles my mind. Whatever. So anyway, total clusterfuck today. The negotiations are off. The negotiations are dead. Trump did extend, this was interesting too. Trump extended the ceasefire, even though there's kind of no reason to. The negotiations are off at the moment. The ceasefire in Lebanon is starting to fall apart. Israel and Hamas are going after each other again. Iran is refusing to open up the Strait. Remember, Trump said on Friday, this is the other Trump lie. Oh, the Strait of Hormuz, it's open. Iran has opened it 100%. It's open, right? Yay! He totally lied. The Strait of Hormuz is 100% closed. 100% closed. Iran still thinks they control it. Iran was taking $2 million a ship for ships to go through. They had to register with the Iranian military, and then they only let about 10% or 8% of the ships go through daily. Instead of 150 ships a day, they were letting 10. So totally closed anyway. Trump said, oh no, they're totally open. Everybody can go through. No. And now he extended the ceasefire. Why? Why? Right? Like what I don't want war, but he just caved on the ceasefire. This morning Trump said, if Iran doesn't agree to U.S. demands by tonight, I expect to be bombing. An hour ago, Trump goes, okay, we'll extend the ceasefire. So we're not bombing. He tacoed. But again, did Iran give in to anything to get us to extend the ceasefire? No. Did Iran give us anything in return? No. He's desperate to stop this war, and Iran knows it. And much of the analysis is that Iran is basically sitting on its ass right now because they know Trump is desperate. They know the American elections are coming up. They know the economy is in trouble. They see the same polls we see. The American people are pissed about this war. And Iran is basically going, you know what? Let's just sit back and watch. Yeah, Trump can blow some things up. They don't care. As long as they themselves don't get blown up, they don't care if their people get attacked. It's Iran, right? They're a dictatorship. It's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. More here. Here's Iran's. So Trump unilaterally extends the ceasefire without Iran giving him anything. Here's what Iran said in response. The extension of the ceasefire by Donald Trump has no meaning. The losing side cannot set the terms. So they called him a loser and said he's lost the war already. Iran is demanding the U.S. lift its naval blockade, as you know, and this is also part of what destroyed the negotiations. I'm no fan of Iran, but Trump's an idiot. Trump claimed the Strait of Hormuz was open, okay? At the same time, he imposed a naval blockade on Iran. So Trump said, oh, on Friday, the Iranians have agreed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz so we can get all of our oil, blah, blah, blah. But Donald Trump closed off all of Iran's shipping. So they stopped Iran from exporting oil. Excuse me, not Iran. Let me rephrase that. What Trump said on Friday was, we've reopened the Strait of Hormuz so that all the oil can be exported from the region, from all the other countries, but not Iran. America was going to put a sanction on Iran and a blockade on Iran. Yeah. Praxis, there's absolutely no proof of that, unfortunately. Some guy wrote that, and I Googled it. There's zero proof of that, unfortunately. That's why I'm not talking about it. People do that on Twitter, even more so lately. People quote shit on Twitter, and they don't give you the source, and I think they make shit up. And somebody quoting Ukrainian stuff said something about Iran and Ukraine and this kind of crazy shit. I looked it up. There's no backing for it whatsoever. Pisses me off when people do that, frankly. I mean, not you, but people who just post shit on Twitter and they make up quotes and stuff, or they misread articles. In any case, what was I saying with this? Oh, yeah. So Trump says on Friday, Iran has agreed to open up the Strait of Hormuz. All the oil from all the surrounding countries can leave now and go to Europe and America and everywhere else. But Donald Trump has decided that he's going to stop Iran from exporting oil and stop goods from coming into Iran. Well, and I think I must have said this on Friday. In what, oh, it's not your fault, don't worry. In what perfect, that's kind-hearted. In what universe would Iran agree to open up the Strait of Hormuz for everybody but Iran? Thank you, son. Right? If I were Iran, I'd say, screw you. If you're going to close the Strait of Hormuz to me, then I'm going to close the Strait of Hormuz to you. And that's what Iran did. I don't know what Trump was thinking. I mean, again, thank you, Sadie. I do love that gift. It's crazy. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but like, it's yet another example of Trump doing something and it blowing up in his face with regards to Iran. And then he pretends like, oh, nobody, who knew? We could have never anticipated that was going to happen, right? Anyway, Brent crude. Meanwhile, crude oil is up 3% today. Brent crude, which is the British one, is up to $100 a barrel. West Texas is up to 89. Gasoline prices are around $3.98 a gallon. So they're down a little, but they're still not good. Fox News' Trey Yingst. He's pretty good. Trey Yingst is the defense reporter who travels around the world to war zones for Fox News. He's actually very good. Fox News is, of course, horrible, but he's quite good. Trey Yingst. Senior regional intelligence sources indicate that Iran is betting on a game of endurance, banking on market meltdowns and domestic distress to force President Trump into a deal. Quote, Iran sees this as a game of endurance. They believe that time is on their side and that ultimately, thank you, Cricket. Ultimately, the domestic pressure when it comes to energy markets and the stock market will force President Trump to make a deal that's in their favor. That is not the truth. That is not the reality. The president and his counterparts in Israel have the ability to continue this operations for months if they need to. No, they don't. They really don't. Republicans are crapping their pants right now because things look so bad. Thank you, user Tweet77 for the election. Things look so bad for the election in the fall that, sure, thank you, son, America could keep bombing Iran. We're in trouble in terms of our stockpiles. I've got a story on that in a second, but basically CNN reports that we're in real trouble if another war breaks out in the next couple of years. Read Taiwan and China. Trump, where things are so bad that Trump just submitted his budget to Congress for $1.7 trillion, $1.5 trillion for the U.S. defense budget, going from $1 trillion up to $1.5 trillion. A horrific, ridiculous amount considering how much money we don't have in this country and how much money Trump has already wasted. And now he wants to increase defense spending 42%. Ridiculous, right? We don't have the ability to do this. We don't have the ability to keep fighting this war. We don't have the money. We don't have the weapons. We don't have the popular support. Yes, we can keep fighting, and it will put us in such a dangerous situation, it's not even funny. But even more importantly, politically, people are so pissed off about this war. Americans do not support this war. And Republicans are crapping themselves over what's going to happen in the elections this fall in November. They're already, at this point, due to lose the House of Representatives. Thank you, Sadie. And they could lose the United States Senate. They are freaking out. Republicans are. Donald Trump may not be freaking out because he doesn't run again, but Republicans in Congress are. So, you know, I think Trump himself could keep going for a while with this war. Republicans are going to lose it, and the American people are going to lose it. Trump claimed on Friday. Oh, that's right. That's right. The nuclear dust. I mentioned that. Oh, Trump claimed today to CNBC that he could have won the Vietnam and Iraq wars in only 5 months. Quote, 5 months. I would have won Vietnam very quickly. I would have, if I were president, I would have won Iraq in the same amount of time. I mean, he's a pathological liar. So you never quite know if he ever believes the crap he says. You know, again, how this man can be president. It boggles the mind. The corruption, the lies. We got more of his lies coming up, by the way. So in the middle of the war, right? We're worried about American preparedness going forward. We're worried about whether we've got enough munitions. Thank you, user 277. Trump today, via the Department of Defense, they just got rid of flu vaccines for U.S. service members. Pete Hegseth, announces, quote, the War Department is once again restoring freedom to our joint force. We are discarding the mandatory flu vaccine requirement effective immediately. The U.S. military is no longer requiring our troops to be inoculated against the flu. Now, what kind of an idiot would want our troops to get sick? Well, Vladimir Putin would like our troops to get sick. What's even more fucked up about this, a couple different levels of fucked up here. One, our troops are going to get sick. People could die. It's certainly going to affect preparedness. I mean, think about it. Soldiers, service members, airmen, they're like in the same bunkers together. They're in places sleeping together. One person gets sick, everybody gets sick. Like on a ship, imagine the flu hitting a ship, right? You've got, what, several thousand people on a ship that can get each other sick? It's not what you want, right? You want, especially we're at war. Secondly, the notion that the flu vaccine is woke, the flu vaccine is now political, that's insane. That's absolutely insane, okay? Third, listen to this sentence. And I mean, literally, this is playing politics with the military. The very thing, and it's always a confession with these guys, the very thing that Hegseth claims he's against, he's doing in the military now. He's doing culture wars in the military. Listen to this. His quote was, again, the War Department is once again restoring freedom to our joint force. He's no longer forcing service members to get a flu vaccine because that would be violating their freedom. Why the hell do we care about the freedom of our military? And I'm quite serious about this. I love the military, big military supporter. Your job isn't to be free. Your job is to fight for freedom. Your job is not for me to maximize your freedom while you're in the military. In the military, your job is to maximize your fighting ability to destroy the enemy and defend democracy. It's not, oh, you weren't free enough because we required vaccines, so we're going to make you a little more free so you don't have to take a vaccine. Literally, not your job, literally not the reason you're there, and literally not the reason that anybody is running. I mean, it is sickening. I mean, it really is, though. It's absolutely sickening. I'm a big supporter of the military. People, maybe you guys do or don't know this. Very big supporter of people going to the military. But the notion that you're in the military and that my priority is to worry about how free you feel while you're in the military. You're like, do you need a hug? Right? I mean, that's not why you're in the military. And I mean, literally, and Hegseth is admitting that he made this decision to no longer require the flu vaccine, not because it makes our military more prepared, not because it makes our military a better fighting force, but because it would make the soldiers feel more free. I mean, and I'm saying this like, I may not even put a fine enough point on it. The reason I don't care about the freedom of our military is you need to advance our ability to win wars. That's the job, okay? If not requiring flu vaccines somehow helps our military win wars better, okay, then I'm on board. But you don't do it because our soldiers need to feel more free. I mean, literally that is the wimpy snowflake answer that Hegseth claims he's fighting against. He's literally doing activism in the military. He's literally treating our soldiers like snowflakes. I mean, literally, we can't tell them to get vaccinated. My God, the number of vaccines you got, and from what people have told me too over the years, thank you, William, the number of vaccines you have to get in the military, it's insane. So the idea that the flu vaccine is the one you're throwing out, I mean, my God. It's absolutely, these people are insane. CNN. The U.S. military has significantly depleted its stockpile of key missiles during the war with Iran and created near-term risk of running out of ammunition in a future conflict should one arise in the next few years, per experts and three people familiar with recent internal Pentagon assessments. Wall Street Journal, the United Arab Emirates. Oh, this is great too. The UAE has opened talks with the Trump administration about obtaining a financial backstop in case the Iran war plunges the oil-rich Persian Gulf state into a deeper crisis. We're talking about bailing out the UAE? Why the hell? Okay, these are super rich countries who make a hell of a lot of money fleecing the rest of us with their oil, right? And they never lower the oil prices when we want them to lower the oil prices. Why the hell are we bailing them out, first of all? Second of all, I don't know, maybe we could bail out the American consumer before we bail out Argentina, before we bail out the United Arab Emirates, before we bail out Venezuela, before we bail out Iran. Remember, Trump was talking about $20 billion he was going to pay Iran. And then it went public, and he went, uh-oh, people are getting pissed, right? I mean, this is just, my God. I mean, I just, my God. This was interesting. The world's top condom maker says it plans to raise prices by 20% to 30% and possibly more due to the impact of the U.S.-Iran war in the petrochemical industry. My guess is you're talking plastics. Plastics are made from oil or petrochemicals, oil-related products. And they're raising prices, and this is apparently it's the company that makes Durex, which is like a big brand, and a bunch of other ones. They're the world's top condom maker, and they're raising prices 20 to 30% because of oil price increases. I mean, it's funny, but it's obviously not funny at all. It's the kind of thing, thank you, Canada Zem, it's exactly the kind of thing that, matters to people, and a 20 to 30% price increase? I mean, that's a hell of a lot. But at the same time, we're going to be bailing out the United Arab Emirates. That's nice. That's nice. Trump lying about inflation. So Trump was lying about inflation today. Surprise, surprise. Listen to this. Trump today claimed, let me read you the quote. A reporter says, by the time Biden left office, inflation was down to about 3%. Trump, no, it wasn't. It was down to 5%. And the reason it was down was because I had won the election, and it started falling after I won the election, and I started getting prices down from right after November 5th. Let's put a finer point on this. He's lying. Trump says, oh, no, inflation was not at 3% when Biden handed the presidency to me. It was at 5%. And that's a good amount because it was even higher when I won the election. And the 3 months before when I won the election to when I got sworn in, inflation started coming down because people were so excited that Donald was coming to save them. He lied about every single fact there. I want to read this to you. He's done this before. And again, it's the lies that bother me. If this man were doing good things for the U.S. economy, why is he lying about it? And by the way, he's lying about inflation, an issue he refuses to address. He refuses to do anything about inflation when it's one of the two big issues he won on. So listen to this. Inflation, where was this? Inflation was 2.6% in October 24, right before Trump won. It was 2.9% in December after he won, so it went up 10%. It was 3% when Trump took office in January 2025. It was 2.4% in January of this year, in February. Now it's 3.3%. So let's put a finer point on it. Inflation was at 2.6% when Trump won. It then jumped to 3% when he took office. So actually people, if using Trump's argument, people saw Trump was elected and inflation got worse. Now it's at 3.3%. It was at 3% when Joe Biden handed the country to Donald Trump. It's up 10%. I mean, I just, why the lies? Why the lies? I just can't, I really, and it bothers me because I've told about this before, but somebody who has to, guys, I've worked in politics for 40 years. People don't lie like this. Trump, or I should say, sometimes the MAGA people like to pretend like, because it's the only way they can defend Trump. Oh, all politicians lie. They really don't. All politicians lie to this degree. They really don't. I would have to think very hard to a politician that lies as much as Donald Trump. You'd have to get somebody like George Santos. Remember the weirdo who got kicked out of Congress because he did all the fraud? Thank you, Blue. Oh, that's funny. I've not seen that one before. It would literally be that kind of guy who lies as much as Donald Trump. Somebody who, Nixon maybe, I'd have to, I don't know well enough. What I don't know well enough is whether Nixon was a habitual liar or whether Nixon was a pathological liar. I actually don't know. I don't know enough about the history, to be honest. But I think of like George Santos, where it's literally lie after lie after lie, and the guy got kicked out of Congress because he was a scammer. He literally scammed people, right? That's what Donald Trump is doing. Republicans don't lie like this. Democrats don't lie like this. Republican presidents have never lied like this that I can think of in memory. This is unique how bad it is. And again, it should say something that Donald Trump gets called on this, and he lies again and again and again. There's a Washington Examiner piece that I've not read yet. Washington Examiner is a very conservative publication here in Washington, D.C. Hey, Mianjarki, is a conservative publication here in Washington, D.C. And they wrote a piece titled, an opinion piece, Donald Trump is losing his mind. I will admit I haven't read it yet, but I thought it was interesting that a conservative newspaper is publishing an opinion piece that says Donald Trump is losing his mind. That was interesting. Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson has been giving some very good quotes attacking Trump. He's a former Fox News guy. The concern is that Tucker is planning on running for president, and he's trying to distance himself from Trump, that he's basically trying to show that he's not Trump or anything. So, I'll read you the quote. It's a good quote, but it sounds like Tucker's doing it to he can run for president and be his own crazy person. I campaigned for him, Trump. We're implicated in this for sure. Yes, it's not enough to say, well, I've changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. You and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now. I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people in it was not intentional. Yeah, okay, not bad. Southern Poverty Law Center. So the Associated Press reports that Trump is now going after the Southern Poverty Law Center. As you know, Trump is using the FBI and the Justice Department to go after all of his political enemies in a way that is really, I don't think it's ever happened in American history to this degree. Nixon was bad. It's not clear that Nixon was this bad. Certainly, as I always say, no Republican president since Nixon, really, even Nixon, I wonder, has been this bad. No Democratic president has been this bad. Biden, the Republicans like to claim Biden went after Trump. Biden never went after Trump. Biden didn't go after Trump at all. Actually, what Biden did, Biden was too nice to Trump. Biden decided that, having said that, Biden did the right thing. Biden said he was leaving it up to his attorney general to figure out who committed crimes, and he was not going to put any pressure on the attorney general to appoint special prosecutors or anybody else because it wasn't the role of the president to do that. Therefore, Trump's attorney general, Biden's attorney general, sat on his ass for 2 years and didn't even start going after Trump for Trump's crimes, stealing the classified information, trying to violently overthrow the government in a coup. None of those things did he go after Trump for, until it was too late and Trump got away with it because then he ran for president again and the clock ran out, right? So Biden did absolutely nothing. It's cute. It's cute for Trump people to claim that, but he didn't. No Republican president has done this. No Democratic president has done this. Donald Trump has. Now Trump is going after the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is one of the most important and really historic groups in the country that has fought against extremism, neo-Enzis, white supremacists, etc. Listen to this from the Associated Press. Southern Poverty Law Center says it's the subject of a criminal investigation by the Justice Department and faces possible charges over its past use of paid informants to infiltrate extremist groups. Quote, although we don't know all the details, the focus appears to be on the Southern Poverty Law Center's prior use of paid confidential informants to gather credible intelligence on extremely violent groups. The Southern Poverty Law Center previously paid informants to infiltrate extremist groups and gather information on their activities, often sharing it with local and federal law enforcement. It was used to monitor threats of violence, adding that the program was kept quiet to protect the safety of informants. Trump is going after the Southern Poverty Law Center because they were infiltrating neo-Nazis. Okay? They were infiltrating the Ku Klux Klan. And Donald Trump doesn't like that, so he's going after them to try to shut them down. Right? Right? Stand by, stand down. What was it? Stand by, stand ready. What was the exact? Hey, stop. What was the exact quote? What was this? Oh, this was interesting. Trump insiders are saying it's hard to find people to prosecute Trump's political enemies because you have to find prosecutors. This was a guy working for Pam Bondi. You have to find prosecutors who are both MAGA and competent. And apparently it's very difficult to find prosecutors who are both MAGA and competent, which I kind of love that. Part of the reason, quote, hey, stop. Part of the reason the weaponization work has been difficult is that you need people who are MAGA and who are really competent, said Chad Mizell, former chief of staff for Bondi. Many career prosecutors are not interested in this kind of work. It's a very small group of people. Yes, many career prosecutors are not interested in following the footsteps of the Germans in World War II, of the Soviets and the Communist Chinese, of basically having the FBI and the Department of Justice be akin to a communist dictatorship that goes after political enemies. And a lot of prosecutors really aren't interested in emulating Joseph Stalin. That's good. That's frankly a good thing to hear. But I love that they can't find people who are MAGA and competent, that apparently the two don't go together. That cracks me up. This is a horrific story. Trump is getting ready to kick out 1,100 Afghan refugees who helped American troops in Afghanistan. Thank you, Canada's End. He's planning on either sending them back to the Taliban to be killed or to the, what was it, the Democratic Republic of Congo, which has like the world's second largest refugee crisis. I mean, horrific numbers of refugees. These are people, 1,100. Many of them were interpreters. They worked with U.S. forces in Afghanistan. They helped U.S. forces at great risk to themselves. If the Taliban ever came back, the Taliban, or frankly, even if it didn't come back, if the Taliban ever found them, it would kill them, it would kill their extended families. And they were told, if you help the U.S. military, if you are an interpreter, a guide, whatever it is with our military, we will get you citizenship in the U.S. and we will have your family come with you because, of course, right, you're not going to say you leave and leave your wife and kids. So they did. A lot of them did. A lot of them got sent to the United States. Trump didn't like it, and now Trump is trying to get rid of them. And these are 1,100 who we were able to get out of Afghanistan, but they're in Qatar right now because we never got them to the U.S. yet. And Trump is now deciding, and it looks like he's leaning this way, that he doesn't want to send them to the U.S. at all, and he wants to send them to Africa, to the middle of a horrific refugee crisis. Or give them the option to go home to Afghanistan and get shot with their wives and kids. In addition to just how evil this is something that Vladimir Putin would come up with. Because, hey, stop. This is something Vladimir Putin would come up with. Because what do you think is going to happen in the future to the U.S. military if we deport the Afghanis who helped our troops risk their lives, risk the lives of their spouses, their parents, and their children in order to help our troops in exchange for the promise that if you risk your life and your family's lives to help us, we will get you out and send you to America. Do you think anybody's going to help us again in the future? Do you think anybody's going to help American troops in the future in exchange for whatever promise we make now that Donald Trump is going back on the promise we made? No, and they shouldn't trust us again. That's going to be incredibly dangerous for U.S. troops in the future if we can't get local help to do this. Because let's face it, how many people, how many Americans speak the local languages? Thank you, Dave. I'm forgetting even what the languages were in Afghanistan. Was it Pashto? I'm trying to remember what the languages even were in Afghanistan. Not a lot of Americans speak those languages. I mean, now we got more of them, right? I mean, now we got more of them, but, you know, it's not great. Anyway, not good stuff. What else we got? There's a lot of news today, guys. Oh, this was great. DC watchdog group Democracy Forward has formally requested Freedom of Information Act request, has formally requested Kash Patel's calendars and any messages from security details that include the words drinking, hungover, and inebriated. Trump lied again today about birthright citizenship. Daniel Dale from CNN reports that on CNBC today, Trump repeated his long-debunked lie that, quote, no country in the world has birthright citizenship other than the U.S. Dale says about 36 countries offer automatic citizenship to people born on their soil, including U.S. neighbors Canada and Mexico, while others have more restricted forms of birthright citizenship. Whenever Trump repeats the false claim and is fact-checked, opponents of birthright citizenship respond, most of those countries are bad, poor countries. Dale says if Trump wants to argue that, he's free to. Instead, he habitually says wrongly that 0 other countries have birthright citizenship. Again, the theme of the show, why does Donald Trump have to outright lie? Why does he have to outright lie about this? What's the deal, right? Why does he have to lie about birthright citizenship? He's been corrected repeatedly, and he still lies about it and says we're the only country. Again, 36 countries, 36 countries or so, right, have got birthright citizenship. Google it. Google it. It's true. It's true. So why has he got to lie about it? I mean, there's something very wrong with someone. Stop. With someone who's this much of a pathological liar. It really is. Because think about it, guys. It like, you get something wrong, it's one thing. But to constantly be corrected on it, right? To constantly be corrected on it, and you just lie again and again and again. And I'm not really convinced it's the dementia. Dementia's saying it's the dementia. I've been talking to people on Twitter about this. A lot of people on Twitter talk about all these Trump supporters and stuff and say they're so ignorant. What if they're not ignorant? What if he's not ignorant? What if it's not dementia? What if he's just a pathological liar? What if they just lie? What if they're just dishonest people? Right? I mean, that's the thing. I don't know that I'm willing to give him the credit to say, oh, his brain isn't very good anymore. I think he's just a pathological liar. I think he's a deceitful man, unfortunately. You know? Anyway, that's exactly right, WC. She doesn't hear well at all, so if you don't go loud, she keeps whining, and you may not be able to hear it, but I'm trying to have a show with a dog whining nonstop for 50 minutes in my ear right now, and it's not easy. All right, what else we got? JetBlue, Ruben Gallego. This was actually very interesting. Senator Ruben Gallego, a friend who's been on the show. Yesterday, JetBlue's Twitter account suggested a customer try clearing their cache and cookies or booking with an incognito window after the customer complained about a price increase after coming to the site and then coming back later. Ruben says, Representative Kassar and I are demanding answers from JetBlue about whether personal data is used in any way to set prices. If 2 people are on the same flight in an identical seat, they should pay the same fare, not whatever a data profile says they can afford. Absolutely. Finally, Dr. Jonathan Reiner, who was Dick Cheney's heart surgeon, I think he's here at GW in Washington, is talking about, there's a new study about mRNA and pancreatic cancer. Amazing. So I think, yeah, it was pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer, very bad, very deadly. By the time they find it, usually you're dead. And the new, this is pancreatic though, right? I think it's, it is pancreatic. And what they found is there's a new vaccine that somehow harnesses, your body's own immune system, whatever, but they have been able to get your body to attack the cancer cells, and it has been working. Now, I don't know if they only had a stage 1 trial so far, but it was very successful. They're mRNA vaccines, some of the same vaccines used for COVID, right? The ones that the Trump people hate, or maybe not the Trump people. Trump, of course, likes to claim credit for it, but his people. Listen to this, Jonathan Reiner. After the breathtaking results of an early mRNA pancreatic cancer vaccine trial, Dr. Makary tells CNN's Caitlin Collins that the National Institutes for Health canceled $500 million in support for 20 mRNA vaccine trials simply because private industry should pay for it. In reality, RFK Jr. killed the funding because he doesn't believe in the technology. He said, quote, "After reviewing the science and consulting top experts at NIH and FDA, HHS has determined that mRNA technology poses more risks than benefits for those respiratory viruses." They killed 20 different programs funding mRNA vaccines, which is the future of vaccines. Again, the COVID vaccine, the miracle that was, this pancreatic vaccine, which is a miracle, and they stopped funding it. They stopped funding it because RFK Jr. has some weird fixation that he thinks it's dangerous. No, very screwed up stuff here. Very screwed up stuff. And again, this is what happens when you elect Donald Trump. I'm sorry, but you elect somebody totally unqualified. You elect somebody who's a little wacky, and he starts picking unqualified people to be our top health officials, and they start making decisions that are dangerous for us. Oh, God, measles. So measles, as you know, has come back in America, thanks to, those people who don't believe in vaccines. There's an article in today's New York Times written by a woman. I had no idea. Horrible article. I mean, amazing article, but horrible story. Her daughter got measles at like age 6 months or something. Children, as you may know, excuse me, children cannot get the measles vaccine until they are 1 year of age. So up until age 1, they're susceptible to measles. Well, this woman might have been in England, I think, where even fewer people are getting the vaccine than here in America, because there was some fake study that said measles would give you, the measles vaccine would give you autism. And so the Brits stopped taking it, and the number of people taking it might be 85% versus 92 here in America. You need 95 to actually have the immunity. Well, her daughter gets measles at age like 6 months because there was an upsurge in measles because people aren't getting the vaccine, because the crazy people told them not to get the vaccine. And as I said, children under the age of 1 do not have the measles vaccine. So when you've got a bunch of crazy people refusing to get their children vaccinated, it makes it much more likely that measles is going to spread and your babies will get it. Well, what happens? Her baby gets measles. She said she thought, okay, not thrilled that a 6-month-old got measles, but that's, she kind of goes, she said, I thought of it like chickenpox, right? She has a fever, she'll get over it. Well, she said a week later, she's feeling better, she gets over it. Goes on until she's 10 years old. And I forgot whether when she was 8 years old, mind you, this is 6 months old, she got measles. She gets over it within a couple weeks. Maybe at age 8, there was a little bit of something. There was like a little bit of, I forgot what it was, whether she'd occasionally get kind of clumsy, things like this, a couple weird things. Age 10, a little more. I think at age 10, her handwriting got a little bit bad. And they thought it was really, they brought her to the doctor, and the doctor was like, well, no, maybe it's an infection, give her antibiotics. Well, something got worse, and they thought neurological. They gave her a brain scan, and they said, oh, there's a little swelling, age 10 now. There's a little swelling in your brain, but don't worry about it, probably an infection, let's give you more antibiotics. They give her more antibiotics. She's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. They finally, and very bad now, always tired, not feeling well, always in the hospital, and they're getting worried she's dying. And finally they do a test, and the doctor tells her it's measles. That basically measles can stay in your blood forever, and it can build up over the years, and it can come back with side effects. One of the side effects was a rare form of encephalitis that is fatal. And they told her, they told the mother, your daughter has this kind of encephalitis. It's from the measles she got when she was a baby 10 years ago, and it is fatal. It will kill her. And within a week, they pulled the plug and she died. I mean, it is a horrific story. This woman wrote the story herself in the New York Times today. Try to find it. I mean, it's horrible, but I had no idea that measles could do that. I mean, no idea. I knew measles were dangerous for kids as kids. I didn't know 10 years later it It can, and what happens, it doesn't even come back. The virus just keeps building in your body until it causes a problem. Horrible. I mean, horrible. I'd never heard about this. Anyway, like I said, there's a New York Times story worth reading, but horrible too, obviously, you know. But anyway, yeah, so very scary stuff. Anyway, very nasty stuff. Anyway, all right, guys, let's hang out and talk. We got another 20 minutes or so. So what else? Yep, encephalitis, kind-hearted, encephalitis. From the Greek kephali. It actually is, meaning head. So it's one of those where it actually is from the Greek. Well, a lot of medicinal terms are from the Greek. Anyway, Windex, exactly. We never did, thank you, Shazak. We never did have the Windex thing. Thank you, Robert. The Windex thing I did not grow up with. Philippines? I don't know about Philippines. What's going on with them? Something with oil shortages? I don't know. Yeah, we talked about shingles. I got my shingles vaccine because I got shingles. Not a happy thing, let me tell you. You really don't want to get shingles. Like, really don't want to get shingles. So, brain? I'm not sure, depending on what language, power, I'm not sure. In Greek, kephali is head. I don't know what the word is for brain in Greek. I don't know. Oh, that's Latin. Ah, okay. Got you. That's Latin. Okay. Interesting. Shingles at age 7. Oh, my God. I mean, you can get shingles whenever. Shingles are caused by chickenpox. You get chickenpox, and you never get rid of the virus. The virus is in your system, but it's kind of buried, and for most people, it's fine. For some people, the virus comes back, and somehow it triggers a disease, and the disease is shingles. And it causes a rash that is nasty. The rash doesn't go away for months or years or sometimes ever. The rash is very painful because it's nerve pain. And this is the really screwed up part. It's not painful because it's not causing things to go wrong that cause pain. It's not like, oh, the rash is an open wound and therefore it hurts. The rash literally causes nerve pain so that it just triggers your nerves. It inflames the nerves so that it is almost impossible to find medicine to make the nerve pain go away. Really? Oh, encephalitis is brain in Greek. I did not know that. That's very interesting. Sasha, stop. So shingles, very bad. Thank you, Red. And the problem, as I said, I had it on my back. I had a rash maybe this big. It only lasted 2 months, thank God. Hey, stop. It only lasted 2 months. I say only. And I was lucky because the doctor said, it might be a couple months. It might be a year. It may never go away. The problem is, as I said, the rash hurts. It hurts like, well, actually, it hurts like 2 different things. One, it feels like there's a knife inside of you. My rash felt like I had a knife in my back. That's the only thing to compare it to. It wasn't excruciating, thank God, but it felt like maybe it was a very sharp knife, meaning like it wasn't like crying out in pain, but literally I felt like I had a knife in my back. It was not good. The other thing is that if you now I had chickenpox when I was 16, so I remember chickenpox. If you remember chickenpox, the sores hurt. At least in my case, after a week or I don't know how long it was, each individual sore started to hurt, and the sores hurt with nerve pain. They felt like there was a sharp pain in each of them. That's the pain. I remembered this. I mean, I had shingles like 10 years ago. I remembered that pain. Like, I got the pain on my back and I went, oh my God, that was my chickenpox pain. Now, the chickenpox pain might not even be as bad, but because the shingles pain, I want to say, was worse. It did not itch, thank God. Chickenpox itched. It did not itch, thank God, but it felt like there was a knife in my back for 2 months. That was not a great thing. That was not a great thing at all. So, yeah. Anyway, bad stuff. Doggy, what you doing? I know. She wants her treats. Anyway, yeah, they're bad. They're very bad. So yes, the vaccine thing. I mean, I got the vaccine. You can get the vaccine afterwards, and apparently it can help you to not get another outbreak. So be aware of that. Oops. Oh man, I'm gonna like sit back a second here. Anyway. Anyway. No, you get the vaccine. The vaccine may last for life. The shingles vaccine. There might be two of them, I think. I'm trying to remember. I keep forgetting which one is which. Shingles might be the one where the second vaccine knocks you on your ass. I think it is. I always think it's it is the shingle. I don't think it's the pneumonia vaccine. I think it's the shingles. Yeah. The shingles vaccine, the second one was very bad. And meaning you felt like you had a bad flu for 2 or 3 days. I mean, it's bad. But I had shingles, which was far worse than a flu. So, just my opinion. 10 years? Yeah, I don't remember how long. I don't remember. I think it might be more than 10 years. Let me look and see. I don't remember. Let me see here. Oops, I didn't start my computer this morning, on my iPad this morning. Where is this? Let's see. Oops, ChatGPT, there you are. Let's see. Hey, boyfriend, check online and tell me how long is the shingles vaccine good for? And I'm guessing it depends on your age.
For at least 7 years in healthy adults aged 50 and older, and it may last longer. Some data suggests up to 10 or more years.
Oh.
For adults aged 19 and older with weakened immune systems, protection is still strong, but long-term data is more limited, so monitoring may be needed. No booster is currently recommended for healthy people. If you're immunocompromised, talk to your doctor about follow-up guidance.
Okay, okay, I'm not sure I'm understanding this. If the vaccine only lasts 7 to 10 years, why would you not get a new vaccine after 7 to 10 years?
The shingles vaccine, Shingrix, requires 2 doses. And for healthy adults over 50, there's currently no booster recommended after that. Protection lasts at least several years, often 7 or more. But despite that, health authorities haven't found a need to...
Okay, sorry, you're not answering my question. You're reading me something. I just asked you a logical question. If the vaccine wears off after 7 to 10 years, why would they not recommend a new vaccine? That seems stupid. Then after 7 to 10 years, you're no longer immune.
I get what you're saying. The logic is this. Even though protection may wane, the risk of shingles doesn't shoot right back up overnight. They're monitoring long-term data to see if revaccination is actually necessary. Okay. If evidence eventually shows a clear benefit of a booster after a certain period, they'll recommend it. Right now, they just...
Okay, so they just basically, they don't know yet. That's why. They just don't know. They don't know if your immunity wanes to the degree that you need another shot or what. Still sounds kind of creepy. 7 to 10. God. I really would not want to get shingles again, that's for sure. Thank you, Ms. Mahalati. I did see your comment. Yeah. It's not a good thing. Yeah, it's not a good thing. So, what was that? Somebody had cancer and now they got shingles? Oh, God. Hey, Justin. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, it was funny. I asked my doctor about it when I turned 50. And he goes, nah, it's not recommended till you turn 60. I was like, all right. And what do you know? 6 months later, I got shingles. I was so pissed off. And at the time, he was right. At the time, they didn't recommend it for people who were 50. But I had read enough about it, and I went, are you sure? Literally 6 months later, I got it. It's like, oh, well. But they also say after you've had shingles, the vaccine can still help you to not get it again. So... yeah. Well, no, he gave me the right answer. The right medical consensus at the time was 50-year-olds did not need to get shingles vaccines. Now I think they did get it down to that. Are our vaccines free? Oh God, no. This is the United States of America. You jest. In New York City, some vaccines were free in New York City, like flu vaccines. You could go to any. I remember you could go to any pharmacy and get a flu vaccine. It was amazing. My pharmacy had a thing inside, and I went. I said, "There's a sign that said free vaccines. What are you talking about?" He said, "Oh yeah, you New York resident?" I said, "Yeah." New York resident? I said, "Yeah." They said, "Yeah, any New York resident can get a free vaccine, a free flu vaccine." And I said, "Get out of here." He said, "Yeah." Kind of wild. So they pay for free flu vaccines for the entire population. So kind of cool. But that ain't the rest of America, that's for sure. So, very interesting. Medicare, some are free. Okay, that's good. That's good. So, I don't, well, I think, I don't know, good question. Unsweetened said, even if it's not recommended, could you still get it? I kind of got the sense the answer was no back then. I kind of got the sense, although maybe the answer was just it's not recommended or it's whatever. But he was like so negative that I was like, all right, And again, he wasn't wrong. I mean, that was the medical consensus, right? But has risks. Well, that's the problem too. Somebody just said it comes with risks though. Vaccines, like any medical procedure, any medical thing has risks. Anything does. You can get infections, you can have a reaction. I mean, so like typically doctors and nurses, medical providers do not like you doing, I'm going to say medical procedures, but anything could be a procedure, a vaccine, working on your hand, whatever. They don't like you doing procedures that are not necessary, absolutely necessary, because there are risks. And why, even if it's a small risk, why risk a small risk for something that you may not need? That's the sort of thinking about it. You got shingles when you were 40? Yeah. Virginia elections today? What do you mean, JTA? Once had insurance through work that only paid when you are sick, no coverage of preventive procedures. Yeah, Obamacare certainly got a lot more preventive stuff paid for. Yep. Mrs. Malhati says all vaccines and medications have risks. That's the thing. I mean, they all do. Everything does. Every medical procedure, even small medical procedures, you can get an infection. You could have, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Let me, sorry, give the dog a little more water. 1 second. That's why you tend not to do stuff that isn't needed. All right, there you go. Yes, I'll give you a few of these. I will give you a few of these. But anyway, yeah, so like medicines in the same category, medicines, everything has a risk, so that doctors, well, look what happened with antibiotics, right? We went so crazy just prescribing antibiotics that all of a sudden we ended up creating a bunch of biotic immune, what would you call them? Infections or whatever, right? So not good. Here. Thank you, Stormy. Appreciate that. Antibiotic resistance, thank you. I was like mixing up my words there. Oh yeah, Medicare, I don't understand Medicare yet. I don't have to deal with that yet. Right, the waivers you got to sign for surgeries and stuff, super bugs, exactly. I mean, it's just, and it's just good medicine. Generally speaking, they don't like you taking stuff, having procedures or whatever that aren't absolutely necessary, because there are risks. Most of us tend not to have a reaction or whatever, but you could, Anyway, what else, guys? What else? Another. Oh, there we go. I did grab a few little food pieces for the dog, make her feel better. Thank you, Jocelyn, for the sheep. What else, guys? What else? People are talking Medicare over on TikTok. Actually, I had a couple of TikTok and YouTube are talking Medicare. Anyway, how is Cuba? No idea. I've not heard anything. Oh, Virginia was the election on the remap. Oh yeah, in response to the Republican gerrymandering in Texas. Interesting. More about what exactly, kind-hearted? About what? About what? I've started watching. I'm not cooking anything. I did make some from chocolate chip cookies last night. I like to make them in a pan. It's easier. Very good. Nice, easy recipe. I doctored it a little, but it's really good. So I'm trying not to eat too much of it because but it's really good. Ukraine, not really. No. So explain more about the tariff tax with the corporation. Yeah, I haven't seen anything definitive about it. So supposedly Trump is going to start giving like 160 million in tariff refunds to businesses, and one of them is Lutnick's company or Lutnick's son's company. I've not seen anything definitive on it yet. The problem with it is I think it said 95% of the money was of the tariffs were recouped by companies by increasing prices to consumers. So basically, they made their money back. Trump increased the prices, the companies had to pay, so companies increased the prices to us. Well, now companies charged us more, got more money, and they're going to give them money back from the government, but they're not giving it to us. So the companies are basically getting a windfall, and we're not getting anything. It's absolutely outrageous. Kind of classic Trump, right? Trump should take the money and give it to consumers directly, give it to us as a tax cut or something. But to give it to businesses, my God. I mean, again, it's just so corrupt. Absolutely so corrupt. I hate spicy food. Absolutely hate it. The shadow docket story, I haven't read. I know about it. And I've got to read it because I didn't understand exactly what it was. We can ask ChatGPT. Again, you always be careful with ChatGPT whether it gets things right, but we can try. So what is this story about the New York Times reported about the Supreme Court and its shadow docket? But double check this to make sure you get it right.
The New York Times reported on growing concerns about the Supreme Court's shadow docket, which involves decisions made outside normal arguments and full opinions. In recent years, the court has used this docket more often for major cases, often issuing brief, unsigned orders without clear reasoning. Critics say this undermines transparency and the rule of law. Some justices and legal scholars argue the practice risks the court's legitimacy, and there are ongoing calls for reforms.
Okay, right. The thing that I'm not understanding is how it actually works, like whether it's 5 justices have to vote to do it this way. I mean, I know what where they issue a decision, but I think they're not signed, and it's like one justice issues it, and it's basically a yes or no, and there's no written decision. But I have to read up on it. I don't know enough about it. I just don't know enough. I just read that in the last couple of days it was written about. The other thing is Mustard is asking, can Donald Trump pardon family members insider training? Hell yeah. As long as it's a federal offense, he can pardon them. Yeah. Donald Trump can pardon anything. Any federal crime, pretty much, Donald Trump can pardon. He just cannot, maybe he cannot pardon himself. That's the thing we don't know. We don't know if a president can pardon themselves. But we do know he could, if it's a federal offense, he can pardon them for anything. I mean, he could literally do it every time they do it. He could say, yeah, commit all these crimes, and I'm just going to pardon you. And as long as there's not a state offense, pardons cannot be overturned. No. The only way a pardon maybe could be overturned would be if literally, like Blagojevich in Illinois kind of thing, where literally his was different, but it was for Obama's seat. You literally paid a bribe to the president for the pardon, and they found out. And here's the other problem. It's still not clear the pardon would be overturned. Trump may get prosecuted for corruption if that happened, but it's not clear the pardon itself would get overturned. Pardon power is in the Constitution, and it's pretty absolute. So, which is bad, obviously. Now that we have a corrupt president, we've never, again, Republican or Democrat, we've never had somebody that's been this corrupt with the pardon power either. It's very bad. I mean, the whole thing is very bad. So, you're welcome. But yeah, I mean, he can pardon whoever the hell he wants. And he can do it as big. He can pardon every single member of his administration. He can pardon every human being on the planet. He can do whatever he wants. It can be as broad as he wants it to be, sadly. But it only applies to federal crimes. So if they're state crimes, only a governor can pardon a state crime. So, maybe there's some, thank you for the gift. There's a Tori. Thank you, Tori. So who knows? Anyway, what else, guys? We got another minute or two, and then we're going to go. What else? Yeah, Biden had many pardons, but Biden didn't have the number of corrupt pardons that Trump had. It's not the quantity. Trump pardoned every single person who tried to violently overthrow the government. Trump pardoned a ton of people who literally paid for the pardons. They literally paid. Like, they gave donations, like $1 million donations, and then got a pardon. Biden did not have that. Yeah, it's not the quantity. You're allowed to pardon lots of people. You're not allowed to do it corruptly. That's the difference. Did not see a Southwest near miss. No. Not for yesterday. No. Anyway. Yeah, you could. JT, I'm just reading that. You could. Within 500 feet? That does not sound good. A little bit more. 2 Southwest jets. Oh, I didn't see that. 1 landing and 1 taking off. Wow. Seem to be having a lot of near misses with Donald Trump as president. Oh, well. Nashville? Interesting. Huh. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Street Rat. Oh, for the blood type? Why would that be a problem? Oops, there you go. Mass shooting in Kyiv? Really? Huh. Oh, the buyout. That's true. Could have been that. That is true. Right. It was a Russian, that would figure, right? Oh, interesting. Another Callum. You've abandoned us, Gunther. Gallum, I'm calling you Gunther and Callum. Like Gollum. Anyway. Oh, all right, guys. I think I'm going to call it quits. Oh, excuse me. Oh, man. Man. All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, guys. My precious, exactly. Oops. Oh, that's funny. All right. It's doing that little thing to prove that I'm a real person in my live. 1 second. There we go. All righty. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it quits. What was I doing here? Yeah, that's going away. Sorry, I'm not a big fan of crazy people. We just hit somebody crazy. On TikTok, on YouTube, they're not coming back. How does someone prove they're pardoned? Like it's an actual document the president's supposed to issue. Now, he may not issue it, and then good luck proving it, right? But you'd have to have an actual document from the president. And the president's supposed to go through a process so that it's officially recorded. But, I don't know whether it's required, though. That's the thing. All right, I'm going to head out, guys. Discord, say goodnight to you guys first. Amanda, thank you. Everybody else, have a good night. Boom. And then TikTok, you're last, as you know. YouTube, Substack, everybody else. Oh, good Substack crowd again, 15 people. Thank you, Substackers. All right, YouTube, Facebook, everybody else. Mrs. Mahalati, good to see you guys. All right, bye, guys.